Alright, so in this particular video, I'm going to be talking about the automated build. And I think the first thing that I'm going to show you is it's a project that's kind of built on Node and React combination. Could be any project that you have possibly built on Java or Angular, or could be any technology combinations, right? What really matters is that the project is going to contain a file. We call it as Jenkins files. Again, convention or configuration, which means the file name does not really change. It just kind of remains as Jenkins file. And this file, you can specify your stages. For example, I can specify an image or stage build, and then stage test and stage deliver. So three stages in my Jenkins file, and I can do any activity right here. So the step that I'm doing in build is doing npm install. Now, for those of you who know about Node.js, this step is going to install all the dependencies for this particular project. For a Maven, you'll just have to do something similar kind of Maven, to get the dependencies. And then to run the test cases, the command, of course, is go down to the Jenkins and script. And so you might also have some scripts available. And then this kind of does echo all the stuff. Doesn't really call up any real test case. It just kind of echoes the values right here. So the idea is that you can also deliver, or you can also run up some scripts. I mean, it's kind of a very simple project that I'm making you see. And then for delivering, it's going to call up the deliver sh and finally input the message finish using the website. And if it is yes, of course, it's going to proceed. And if you press no, it's going to kill the stuff. So apart from that, I'm kind of using Docker image right here. Now this is because I want to pull in the Docker image from the uh, uh, from the repository. So I also wanted to use Docker integration with this, and so I created a pipeline which has an agent Docker. The environment continuous integration is true, and there are stages. Three things in this pipeline. I think we'll better understand this when we kind of deploy this application on Jenkins. Now, so I'm going to first start up the Jenkins, and then I'm going to make you see how do you kind of pull this into the Jenkins itself. Now, so I just kind of have stopped this. I'm going to get down to right. So I have the Jenkins. Just that I'm not able to. It's kind of a long command. I'll have to get it otherwise. I'll do it here. Yeah. So I think I'm going to run Jenkins from here itself, 8080 port. Just that I've kind of specified a little more of variables like where there are. So in my case, Jenkins is installed right here. So just using those values, that's all. Some additional flags. Otherwise, I'm just kind of running it on 8080 port. So it's going to start up Jenkins. Since I already have done the configuration stuff, I'm not going to do it again. And this should get me to the Jenkins. Okay, let's go down to here, and I'm going to type in here. Okay, so I actually, after the setup, I created a user by my own name. So I'm going to type in my username and password. I mean, so you will also in your installation see this step. You just create a, admin user. It could be any username and password. So I'll just leave this up to you. And once it is done, it's kind of going to give you this kind of a scenario where it's going to ask you to create new jobs, and then I can go to create new jobs, pick up a pipeline, and give it a name of the pipeline. So what I really did, I just kind of pushed my project that I was doing it right here. So I'm going to copy this as a name, paste it here, use pipeline, and press OK. Right, so this is kind of one way of doing it. It also has a newer view actually. So I can just go down to back, and I might have to delete this one, delete pipeline. Yeah, it has an open blue version plugin sort of thing right here. I find it kind of easier to use. So I'll tell you the differences. You can create a new pipeline, and then you can directly specify your GitHub account. And so you notice it's smart enough to figure out like which GitHub account do I use, hopefully, and should be getting that account. Yes, I select this, and it's going to ask me for like which simple, which repository I'm going to look at. So I've pushed up this information to this particular repository over here. So I'm going to kind of select this repository and paste it here. Like this is the one that I'm really looking at. Select this and then just press create pipeline. Now remember, the moment you create pipeline, it's going to expect a Jenkins file right over there itself. So the same Jenkins file that I showed it in the project, I've been able to push it right over here itself. So now I think it should be getting into building up the using the pipeline. It's going to kind of build up a pipeline over here. So it's kind of starting as of now. And of course, it's a time-consuming activity. I just want you to see some bit of it at least. And I think if you go down here, so the first activity that you should be doing right here is to get the, let's see the pipelines at least, right? So the first thing is to get the Docker image right over here. So it should try and do this, then get into the build, which is npm install, then run the test cases, then deliver. And so you notice it's kind of doing Docker pull first. It has now it's kind of in a build process and doing the npm install, the next command, which is build process. So I think if you just take you here, you should get a view of the pipeline. Like so, pipeline in my case has 3 stages: build, test, and deliver. And so it's kind of doing the same thing. It has build, test, and deliver. You can customize your build process. Of course, each project is going to have its own concerns, and you know it's going to run on port 8080. So everything about the pipeline is kind of here. And then I think we can go back. Into this view and just take a look at what's happening with respect to running this particular project. Now, like I said, this is going to take up some time, so I'll suggest that we kind of look at the output in the next video because it can really take long. But this would have given you a really real feeler of how to use Jenkins. You just have to kind of create a pipeline. Now, if you come down from a Spring background, a Spring Boot application, look out for a Jenkins file in Spring, and then you also try the same thing kind of on your machines as well. So installing Docker is not a challenge really, as you can see from here. And the Docker file is going to, the Jenkins file is going to differ from project to project, depending on the complexity as well. So at a first trial, we would want to create simple Jenkins files. And like I said, I'll just suggest you guys to do it yourself. And I'll see you in the next video, and I'll kind of show you the output on how this process has run, if it is successful, if it has failed, like why it has failed and all that stuff. So I'll see you next.